Hey, don't let the new setting fool you, it's actually not that new. Meatball subs. Think of a boat that just kind of ships protein directly into your mouth. We're gonna get some nice, cute little bread rolls, fill them up with meatballs and sauce and cheese, bake them in the oven, get them nice and melted, serve it with a salad or whatever, you have a great meal. Let's go ahead and give this one a shot, huh? Meatball subs today at Café Gabe. So I've already got my meatballs made. My bread here I'm gonna cut and prep, and my sauce, Parmesan, and my Provolone. For the meatballs, let's walk you through it really fast. I've got a good 85-15 ground beef. I've also done it with 90-10. I prefer leaner cuts, just a personal preference. I'm sure if you used 80-20, it would be fine. I have then mixed in a nice spice blend to kind of, approximate like a breadcrumb type of thing if you're making a meatloaf. I don't like doing that though. So what I've done is I've added oatmeal, a bit of corn flour, and some spices, some salt, garlic powder, paprika, and black pepper. Put that all together, blended it nice and fine. I've done it with like a hand blender. It's a little more coarse. This has actually worked a lot better. So I would recommend if you have a blender, use a blender. I have it in a nice clear casserole dish. Top it with my spice mixture and just start mixing, really mix in there. When you think it's good, tear it open. Can you see that the inside is completely unseasoned? Flip that ball of meat inside out, get it around in the spice mix and keep mixing. You probably won't be able to incorporate all of it, or it would be a lot of extra work for not much of benefit, but just try to be sure most of your spice mixture is absorbed by the meat. Now, I am a science man. Okay, got a science degree in everything that I never use. I prefer a little bit of, consistency in my recipe. So in this case, I'm actually going to measure 2 ounces. I want as many 2-ounce meatballs as I can get. Ultimately, I ended up getting 9. Gonna tear off a piece of that meat mixture. Be sure my scale is telling me I'm about 2 ounces in. Roll it into a nice ball, throw it down. Do that, rinse and repeat, right? Once you have all your meatballs formed, I would highly recommend throwing it in the fridge for at least a couple hours. I ultimately did overnight because just the way my schedule worked in this case, but I've done it for an hour, 2 hours. That's probably fine. Don't stress about it too much. Do give it some time though. Again, that chilling process does help the meatball kind of keep its form a little better when it comes time to cook. So to the present where we are currently, I have my 9 meatballs, my 3 bread rolls, sauce, and cheese. So I have my oven set to 425. That's how we're gonna go ahead and finish things off. Toast the bread a little bit, melt the cheese, all that jazz. For our meatballs, I'm gonna throw them onto my pan and I'm gonna kind of press them down lightly to kind of flatten them out, get as much surface area as I can touching the heat. Gently press them down when you put them into your hot oiled pan for about 2 minutes, flip over, 2 minutes. We're gonna throw in our entire jar of pasta sauce, then reduce the heat to a medium, let it sit for about 4 minutes, and that'll finish cooking it up, right? So before we do that though, I wanna go ahead and get some stuff out of the way, namely my bread. I'm gonna go ahead and make our little bread boats. How do we do that? So, have my bread knife, right? And I'm gonna try to cut, and I'm gonna be sure I'm getting this on a good camera here. I wanna try to cut a little bit above the midline, not down the middle, because I want a lot of space in my barco, in my boat, to hold on the meatballs. So I'm gonna cut something like 75%, 80% from the bottom, and that's how we're gonna kind of begin our boat. So, look at that, right? At least 3/4 of the bottom is still intact. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hollow all of this out, pull out all this excess bread, have a little void there, a little sauce space for our meatballs, for our sauce, for our cheese. So, same deal. I'll do one, then I'll do the other ones really quick. So, easily, gently, because you don't want to tear a hole in the bottom, just kind of get in there with your fingers and dig out the inside. You could use this excess bread for breadcrumbs for another recipe. You could, I guess, just eat it as it is, dip it in some sauce. I don't have any use for it, so all I ended up was throwing it away, but don't get creative. Hey, do something with it. You guys are just as good as I am, just as creative, probably better looking. It's fine. Now we have a little bread boat, a canoe. A bread canoe. Now I could do the same to this piece. There's not a lot to work with. I don't know that it's really worth it. I could maybe scrape out a bit there, but I'm not that worried about it. I would say you don't need to be either. So I'm gonna go ahead, rinse and repeat that for these other pieces. That I'm going to move my second camera to the stove so that we can record the meatballing. Bit of olive oil on the pan. Okay, here we go. You see I'm putting it down, just giving it a little press. Now while those are sizzling, I'm gonna take a couple pieces of cheese and just line the bottom of my bread boats. Just one piece, easy, done. Just flip these over. Just get them all flipped. Sauce time, turning it down. So we're doing this together, we're doing it live. Flip those meatballs around, get them sauced. Okay, these bad boys are ready and they're effing hot. So, let's get them out of here. Let me figure out my angles. So I'm gonna swap to a big old spoon and just scoop in a couple of these balls. Yes. Probably just one or two each. Each probably won't handle much more. Add a bit more sauce on top. Now here's the thing I'm noticing right off the bat. These rolls were not particularly tall. And so I'm a little worried they may not top well when I put the little caps on. So I might actually end up hollowing out those caps too, just to make them fit a little bit better around the top of these delicious hunks of meat. Top with a little more sauce, top with a little more sauce. Just sprinkle on some of that. Parmesan, you know, if I had thought about it, I would have bought like some Reggiano or some kind of other hard cheese. I just didn't think about it at the time. We already had this in the house, so quality matters. If you have the time, get like a good Romano. If you don't, you know, any port in a storm. Cheese. Yeah, really get it on there. Whatever that needs to look like. And then a little bit for the house, if you know what I mean. Yum, yum, yum. It's just kind of very delicately, oh my goodness. I mean, it's the top piece, so if we tear it, it really isn't that big of a deal, but aesthetics can matter sometimes with food. It tastes better because it looks better. If that isn't a lesson for life, I don't know what is. So, just a bit. We're not gonna make a whole lot of progress here, but let's just try our best. Let me not accidentally put this cheese in there. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so these are going in the oven right now. The oven's at 425, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. Just do the cheese to melt. Everything's already cooked. Everything's ready to go. This isn't about finishing off the meatballs. The meatballs are fine. We just want a good melt on the cheese and a good toast to the buns, right, to the rolls. So here we go. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Let's get those bad boys out and see what they look like. My mic on? It is, thank goodness. Okay. Hey, hey. Look at that good stuff, guys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Be sure I get them in frame here. Oh yeah, we are in business. All right, guys, these look freaking-tastic. Let's go ahead and plate one of these bad boys up. I'm gonna grab you, my friend. Oh yes. Get my lid, my top. Sometimes we just need a good top in our lives. Come on, stop focusing on my stupid mustache. Look at the food. Hey phone, look at the food. Oh my God. Hey. Hey. Oh yes, look at that almost perfect seal. We are in business, my friends. Only thing left to do is give it a cut and give it a taste. I picked the goofiest way of cutting this. I'm a goofy man. Yeah, look at that. Look at the inside of them meatballs. Guys, look at the inside of these things. Oh my God. Oh my God. Perfectly medium well, if a meatball can be medium well. You know, I see why not, apparently so. Hide my face. I'll get it out of frame, even better. Okay. Wowza kapowza, guys. Cheese is nice and melted. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, guys, taste test. I'm double fisting ball sandwiches here. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'm gonna go with the big half first since I'm a big man. Here we go. Yes. Oh my God. You know, I have a turkey meatball recipe. And I think an important part of that recipe is using the oatmeal kind of blend. It's a very similar spice mix in that case. And somehow it just seems to help make the meatballs more moist. I don't know if it's because maybe it absorbs some of the juices that would be lost during cooking. I'm not a food scientist, I'm just a flake chef. Hey, but these meatballs are fantastic. Fantastic. Oh. Mmm. Mm-hmm. You know, the little bolilllos that we're using, the little bread boats as we made them, are perfect for this. You know, it's 4 ounces of beef, spice. If you're a calorie conscious person, you kind of cut out some of the bread by hollowing them out. You know, a good amount of cheese, not too much cheese. Each one of these has about maybe a slice and a half of provolone, a sprinkle of Parmesan. Oh my God, these are good. Ah. Thank you so much for coming to Café, Gabe. Hey, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I've got new videos out, I've got new videos coming. If you tried this recipe and liked it, please like the video. And if you have any ideas for me, comments, concerns, thoughts, did you try different spices? Did you try chicken or turkey? You know, again, the meatball recipe, like many other recipes, is just sort of a base. You can season the meatballs completely differently and get a whole other flavor that is just as good. Leave it in the comments, I would love to know. But guys, for now, as always, thank you so much for coming to Café, Gabe. Use the bigger bowl. Stay hungry for me. Adios.